This conference will now be recorded.
Who said this? Like, is it Syed? Thank you, Syed. Is it, okay. Syed, right, pointed out this.
Yeah, because I just confused what you are saying, and
No, I
that's
thought
why
I'm
I just
showing
asked
my
you.
screen. I really thought I am showing my screen. No one complained about it, and keep on going. And I haven't even started my recording. Thanks a lot. Okay, okay. Have a look at this. So, table of contents. We're going to start with Python now, and we're going to cover a bunch of basic libraries like NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, and Seaborn. You have any questions? Okay, I'm going to start from scratch again. So this is a table of contents. Like no, these are the contents we're going to cover in our course. We're going to start with Python, and we're going to cover with a bunch of basic libraries like NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, and Seaborn. Once we complete those libraries, we'll get into time series. Time series is a section wherein we're going to explain you how to handle date time data, date, time, those sort of data we're going to cover. Once we complete the basics, we'll get into the ML part. Instead of getting into ML advanced projects, we're going to start with a very basic project like simple linear regression, multiple linear regression, and polynomial regression. And we're going to, we're going to show you a project on this one, movie review data set. Right? So you have any questions till now? Once we complete the basics, we are going to show you a project template. We're going to explain your project template. Project template is going to be like this. This code, like this template, can be used in real-time projects. Okay, this has almost everything. 60 to 70% of the stuff that we're going to explain, you can use it in real-time projects too. And so, what I mean to say is, the real-time projects, whatever we explain in the course, 60 to 70% can be done with using the templates we give. The remaining 20 to 30% is always going to be new, and you have to do some R&D. Any questions on this? And there are different sort of problems. We're going to give a bunch of templates. By the end of this course, you're going to get somewhere around 100 to 150 set of scripts or files, you can say. Any questions till now? Karthik, Raghavendra?
No, as you said, like we will get at data, right? How it will be? I mean, companies giving to, I mean, work on it. It's like a Excel, or it's like a APIs, or it's like a, I mean, data. How it should be?
Yeah, so it's not going to come in one particular format. There are different formats in it. In Pandas, if you show, let me show you this. Okay, you can see my screen, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's not going to come in one specific format. It can be a tab file, it can be a fixed width file, JSON, HTML, XML. Sometimes you may need to connect to a third-party API, and sometimes you need to export data frame to CSV and code data files. It's not going to be in one particular format. So we're going to cover a good number of formats that are essential, in handling real-time projects.
Okay.
But that's a good question. So any other questions? Sometimes we may need to connect to a database like RDBMS, like SQL Server or Oracle. So I'm going to show you an example, if possible, how to connect to a SQL Server. If possible, I will show you a PostgreSQL and MongoDB too.
Okay.
But it's not possible to cover all the formats. But you will be, by the end of this course, you will be in a position to handle things that are not explained on your own. I mean, you will get a good solid knowledge to handle real-time projects. This is not theoretical course. This is a practical machine learning course. It's like one, if at all you get into some organization and you got some ML job. So basically what they do is they give KT to you, right? not a transition, to
Yes.
explain you how the product is going to be. But in the recruitment process, they are going to filter out whether you're good enough or not, right? This course is like giving KT, but presuming that you don't have any knowledge in ML. So even that part will be covered. So this is going to be kind of that format, right?
Okay.
Not theoretical one. So those who attended other courses like are going to be ideal for to take up this course. So most of the courses are theoretical, right? So they may not get solid knowledge, but if at all they still have ambiguity by taking up another course or watching a few videos in YouTube, so you can take up this course. At the end of this course, as I told you, like you're going to complete at least 10 to 11 projects, 5 to 6 on NLP, and the remaining half are going to be on ML and DL. Right? So this seems a lot of stuff. What's the duration of this course? And this course purely online? Yes, it is purely online, and the course duration is 2 to 3 months. We're going to take 2 to 3 hours a day, 5 days a week. So most probably it's going to start on Wednesday, next Wednesday, or Thursday. 2 to 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, 2 to 3 months. Any questions on duration? Adnan, is that clear?
Like at what time the time?
Yeah, 6 to 8 if it is 2 hours, and it may get extended for another 1 hour. So you have to prepare yourself from 6 to 9, Wednesday to Sunday. It used to be Monday to Friday, but upon another guy request, we changed it from Wednesday till Sunday. Weekdays, mostly it's going to be 2 hours. On weekends, there's a possibility that it's going to be for 3 hours. Sometimes it may be just 1 hour 30 minutes or 1 hour 40 minutes. It depends. Yeah, is that clear, Raghavendra? Did I answer your question?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, Adnan, any questions? Yeah. And we have another batch in the evening that is going to start at 5 o'clock, but that is going to be in Telugu. So morning it's going to be in English, and evening it's going to be in Telugu. We have a demo also today at 5 o'clock in Telugu. Fine. Yeah, Pandas is going to cover 70 to 80% of data analysis. Like it's going to, and you can consider it like a data analysis and the machine learning. Data analysis is very essential before you provide data to a machine learning algorithm. So Pandas is going to be very essential, but before Pandas, we're going to cover NumPy. We're going to cover a bunch of methods and the importance of NumPy. So some of you may have question like why we need a library when we have Python. So that even that is going to be explained in NumPy in this part, necessity of NumPy. I'm going to show you with a very simple example, right? And we're going to cover pandas. We're going to start from scratch like series, data frame, metadata, how to transpose the data frame. What is important is different methods like merge, reshape, merge, dummy, variables, cluster, etc. And the different formats, as Karthik asked a question on formats, right? So we're going to cover a bunch of formats on like tab file, pixel file, JSON, HTML. Data is not going to come in one specific format. Client is not going to give you, in a format that you want. So it may come in various formats. In fact, there are thousands of formats available, right? And we're going, once we complete Python, NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, before we get into Matplotlib, we will going to cover time series. Time series is going to, we're going to explain you how to handle datetime data. There are a bunch of methods in it, like date range, B date range, how to convert from one format to another format. There are different formats in datetime itself. And what is a period, what is a resampling, and how to handle time zone. There are different time zones, right? Ours is IST, and there are different other formats available, like PST, GST, and like Greenwich Mean Time and all, right? Matplotlib, and we have another library called Seaborn, are going to cover, how to about charts. So we're going to explain you how to plot a chart. Matplotlib is like a kind of Python, like a core library that explain you how to plot a chart. Seaborn is a bit advanced. There's, that in fact been built on top of Matplotlib. So Seaborn plots are going to be very attractive, but for configuration changes, we require Matplotlib. So at the end, it's going to be a combination of Matplotlib and Seaborn. Okay, even that part will be given here. So even for charts, I'm going to give you a code like this. So you not worry about it. SNS is Seaborn, and you can see PLT, right? That is for Matplotlib. As I told you, at the end, it's going to be a combination of both Matplotlib and Seaborn, right? And don't worry if you feel that it is too technical, but we're going to take you, on a step-by-step basis. We're going to start from scratch. And statistics, we're going to cover the basics of like types of data, sampling methods, what is the distribution, what is variance and standard deviation. If I'm going to answer you why we require standard deviation if we have variance, and what is the correlation, why we require correlation, and different models in statistics. And we're going to cover the basics of probability too, which is things that are essential for machine learning. We're going to cover it, not everything about statistics or probability, but things that are required for machine learning, we are going to cover it. Even mathematics, I have not included mathematics here, but we are going to cover mathematics also. And machine learning basics, we are going to start with very basic stuff like what is labeled data, what is unlabeled data, and different types of machine learning algorithms, and how we can predict things using ML. I'm going to explain you with a very simple example to explain you the core logic behind machine learning, right? And count vectorizer. So machine learning is not magic. It's a kind, it's a combination of different fields. Like it's a combination of mathematics, statistics, programming, and various other stuff. So, but it can be machine learning. We can able to grasp the concepts when we do things from scratch, and we do it more practical rather than sticking to theoretical part. If you stick to theoretical part, you will never understand machine learning. That is why this course is specifically drafted to those who can learn things by doing it. But having said that, we still require some basics like libraries that we're going to use in projects. So that is why we have all these libraries, Matplotlib, Seaborn, and all. Okay. Any questions till now on projects or on machine learning part? Syed, Adnan, Raghun. Yeah,
Yeah,
go
I
ahead.
have a question actually. There are two kinds of roles, right? Either a data scientist or either a machine learning engineer.
Right.
So with this course, I mean, we can apply for both the roles, or is it like more into data science or more into machine learning?
It's more into ML engineer, not
Okay,
as data scientist. Uh,
okay,
Let me tell you a fact that you can't become a data scientist directly by doing some course. The reason behind
okay.
that is a data scientist is not just what machine learning engineer do. So he can write algorithms from scratch. Unless you have experience as a machine learning engineer, you don't understand those gaps, right?
Mm-hmm.
So unless you know those gaps or loopholes, you, you know, you, how can you, how are you going to write algorithm from scratch again? I mean, how are you going to write something new? First of all, you
Okay.
need to understand those loopholes. You need to have good experience in implementing the existing algorithms. Only then you can, write another algorithm that is going to, fill up those gaps or loopholes, right? So
Okay.
it's not possible to become a data scientist directly. Another thing is we're going to use Python here, right? Python is for development and production.
Yeah.
Whereas in real time, algorithms are going to be written in C or C++.
Okay.
So those who say that by taking up their course, you'll become a data scientist, they're not going to cover C, C++, right? Isn't? And
Yeah.
they're not going to cover algorithms and design patterns too. So it's not possible you to become a data scientist directly. You have to have at least 3 to 4 years of experience as a machine learning trainer.
Okay. So is it like you said the C? C means we have to learn C as well for this, or I mean, for data scientist?
In production, I mean, if you write an algorithm, you're going to write in C, C++. The reason is that it's fast. And the algorithm that we use are, Python comes up with wrappers. So Python has a library called scikit-learn, and of course there are various libraries. Libraries are written in Python, but those are wrappers on top of these actual C, C++ algorithms.
Yeah, correct.
So at the end, we are going to use Python or libraries that we have it on in Python. We're not going to have C or C++, but if at all you speak about the algorithms that we use, or if you want to write it from scratch, you have it's not going to be in Python. Python is definitely an interpreted language. It's going to be a bit slow compared to C++, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Any questions on that? Even you can
Yeah, it's
debate
fine.
on this topic. Is based
No,
on my
not debate
experience.
actually. Yeah, I'm just confused actually because this is see many people will say that it's a data science. So even they are telling the same thing, that you have to learn machine learning as well. So there is actually two different roles. How come a person become a data scientist or a machine learning? That is what my
It's
confusion.
so.
Because
So you have any prior experience in machine learning?
hmm, no, nothing.
Then it's impossible you to become a data scientist directly. Let me tell
Okay,
you frankly. So you have to
yeah,
have at least 3 to 4 years of experience.
okay. And also, as you said, like we have to write a completely algorithm, right, from
Yeah,
scratch
you
to
need to
the
have
thing.
good knowledge in algorithms and design patterns again. So without that, you can't build code, right? You can't build proper code. And C++ is
Okay,
a low-level language, even though it is debatable. We can, we can get access to resource that not going to be possible in Python or other languages like JavaScript and all. If at all we have such functionality in JavaScript, Python, or other interpreted languages, thing is that they might have created a wrapper, but
okay. Yeah,
internally it
yeah.
is still C, C++, Java again, right?
Yes. Because Python is also, I mean, C using, right? It's a built on
Definitely.
C and C++.
Even Java uses C, C++,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So I think there is nothing that we can write without using C++. Even though, I mean, the reason why we don't use C++ is someone might have written wrappers that
Okay.
helps in avoiding, writing code in C++ from scratch again. Yeah. Any questions? But that is a good question, in fact. I'm about to explain what is the difference between ML and data scientists as a role perspective in real time. But you asked you asked me that question.
Okay.
Raghavendra, Adnan, and Syed, any questions on that?
Yeah, mm, so for becoming a data science like role, so first we have to go with machine learning.
Definitely. Okay. Which technology you're working on right now?
I'm into the iOS developer right now.
Okay.
So
So being, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
based on my interest, I'm trying to
Yeah.
like learn these concepts actually.
And what sort of tools you use in iOS?
Sorry.
What sort of tools you're going to use in IoT, right? You're going
No, iOS. It's Apple.
iOS, right? Okay.
Yeah,
What sort of tools you use?
like Xcode and iOS language.
Okay. Even in iOS, there are two things, right? Production and development. So production is
Yeah,
something that's been built, supported by a certain team, right? Development is
yeah.
something that they write it from scratch. Let's take a web application. 70 to
Okay,
80% projects again are going to be on production. And production sense things that have been built but require support. So any enhancements or modifications, we do it in production, right? Whereas development
correct.
is something that we write from scratch. Similar to that, we have it in data science also. We have something like a machine learning engineer and a data scientist. We can't directly become a data scientist, just like the way we can't directly become a developer. Of course, there are exceptions always, but in most of the cases, that is what it is. Adnan, yeah, Raghavendra, is that clear?
Okay, somewhat. Okay, fine.
Yeah, okay. But let's go ahead. Like basic projects, we're going to cover. Like I told you before, we're not going to take you to advanced projects directly. We're going to cover with. I'm going to start with basic projects that explain you the flow, the basic flow. That is very essential. Initially, as a beginner, you may have a lot of ambiguity how machine learning works and what's the basic flow, right? By the end of this course, you'll get a good knowledge on workflow. So you not to have, you not to worry. Like when I show you this code, don't bother about it. Like there's too much, right? You're going to get all this stuff by the end of this course. The one thing is you have to follow the instructions that are being given, and you have to be consistent in practicing this. Like it's not just 2 to 3 hours a day. You have to spend another 2 to 3 hours practicing it. Especially weekends, you have to make use of it in a proper way. You have to practice more. And the practice is nothing but just understanding it by doing once. You have to repeat it. Okay. All these templates have been drafted in such a way that even a beginner can handle real-time projects. That is the whole intention, right? And metrics, before I explain you metrics, I need to explain a model. Let me show you the end product of this project is a model. You get a model. Model is nothing but a function that understand the pattern. Basically, what is machine learning? Machine learning is something that helps in understanding the patterns of data, patterns in data, so that you can apply that pattern on unknown data, isn't it? So it's understanding the patterns in the data and apply it on take that pattern and apply it on unknown data. So understanding pattern is nothing but generating a model. Okay. So once we get a model, we need to understand like how good it is. The metrics is some section, like is a section that explain you how to analyze how good it is, like using R2 score, ROC, AU, ROC. Don't worry if it is too technical. So I'm going to explain you what is R2 and why and how to calculate it manually. We have various methods to calculate R2, but internally how we're going to calculate it, I'm going to show you that in an Excel. And what is ROC, what is AE ROC, what is the difference between ROC and AE ROC? If at all, if there is a question like, if at all we have AE ROC, why we require ROC? I'm going to explain in detail about ROC and AE ROC, which are very essential in understanding how good the model is. And hyperparameters, we're going to cover, and let me show you hyperparameters. We're going to, no, these are hyperparameters. Usually, if you take any other course, they're going to explain you hyperparameters and hyperparameter tuning, but they're not going to give you the important hyperparameters and set of values that are required. We have clearly given the important hyperparameters and the values to it. So you not to write it again or need to find somewhere else, at least in 70 to 80% cases. And we're going to cover ensemble algorithms. Ensemble algorithms are a kind of amalgamation of algorithms, like it's a combining 2 or 3 algorithms that helps in getting better accuracy. Regular algorithms don't give you a better accuracy, but ensemble algorithms going to give you better accuracy. Okay, even that is also been part of this template, like RF, GPR ensemble algorithms. Okay. And we're going to show, I'm not just going to show you an algorithm and how to implement it. I'm going to show you how it internally calculates, how it internally works. Like we're going to cover bagging, boosting, and various methods in it. And I'm going to show you, we have a dedicated section on GitHub, basics of GitHub, like add, push, commit, pull, clone, etc. And principal component analysis is a part of feature selection, feature extraction. So it's not just principal component analysis. I'm going to give you a template on feature selection. So feature selection, let me give you an example. Like let's take, there are some 1,000 columns in a data, right? A table and columns, right? How a table looks like, and columns. You have that basic knowledge, right? Let's take that we have 1,000 columns, and all of those columns may not require. Some of it may require, and some of it may be redundant or unnecessary, right? So in like how to, the question rises like how to get rid of unnecessary or redundant columns. That is going to be covered in feature selection. A template will be given, so you not to worry about finding a code, or you not to write code from scratch. But thing is, practice it well. So just by doing once or taking the template and doing it once is not going to help in real time. In real time, you may require some modifications that are required, that have been given to you. So in that case, unless you have good sound knowledge, unless you practice it, unless you do it some 3 or 4 times, it's going to be a bit difficult, isn't it? That is why, like, don't just take templates and do it once. Do it 3 to 4 times and try to understand the code. Try, if possible, try to write the code, what are being given in the template, right? And principal component analysis, I'm going to show you how to implement it and how it's going to work or being calculated internally. So we're going to take you a step-by-step process, how it's going to work internally. Not the theoretical stuff that you're going to get in YouTube or in any other course. I'm going to show you how to calculate eigenvalues, eigenvectors, how to calculate covariance, what is the difference between correlation and covariance, and other stuff. And at the end, we are going to cover the NLP basics. NLP, as I told you, like this is an NLP centric course. We're going to have 5 to 6 projects, and we're going to start with basics like what's tokenization, cleaning, extraction, regextmer, TF idea, and we're going to cover a bunch of projects. Anomaly detection is not part of this. I mistakenly added into this. It's part of clustering. We're going to cover like topic modeling, sentiment analysis, auto tagging, text generation, spam classification. We're going to cover a good number of projects. At the end, deployment is going to. I'm going to explain you the SageMaker, how to deploy it in Heroku and AWS, if possible, Azure too. Yeah, any questions till now? And at the end, the outcome of this course is at least you'll get some 2+ years of experience, 2+ years of real-time experience in machine learning and deep learning and NLP especially. So you can attend any interview if it is NLP centric. Yeah, any questions?
Okay. Actually, you said like we have to find a pattern, right? By using the previous data.
The data that we get, yeah.
Yeah. So is it like we have to use some algorithms, right? So is it like, I mean, we have to follow, I mean, there are many others. So we have to follow in a certain limit, or is it like some senior guy will give some one algorithm. So how it will be like? We have to use each and everything, or any one particular
Right.
one we have.
So this template I showed you before, like here you can see bunch of algorithms, RF, GB. RF is
Yeah,
nothing
yeah.
but random forest. GB gradient boosting. Lasso, reach are different portions of linear regression. And ENet, SVR, DTR. So I'm going to give you a bunch of important algorithms. So this is going to be
Okay.
enough for machine learning part. So you not to write. That is what I'm saying. Like once I explain you the template and do some, if you do some 4 to 5 projects, you're going to get a good knowledge on how to implement in real time. So in real time, it's not just one algorithm you use. So you need not understand data and understand like which algorithm you need to implement. It's going to be a combination of algorithms. You loop it, and based on the accuracy that it generates, you're going to judge it. Let me show you this. And here we have fitting. Fit is nothing but training. So in this phase, it is going to understand the pattern,
Okay.
right? So you not to write the code again. Again, at the end, you're going to get some accuracy here. So you can see 0.86, 0.869, something there, right? So based on this, you need to judge which algorithm is best.
So is it
And
like a result, correct? Sorry to interrupt.
result in the sense, I didn't get your point.
No,
What do you
result
mean by
means
this?
this is the best accurate, whatever the, I mean, suitable for that
Yeah,
pattern.
whichever has better accuracy, you need to pick one. So let's take this one itself, and which one do you think the best? And even others, like guess it, like find out which one is best. Is it lasso, reach, ENet, RF, GP, SVR, DTR?
GB 0.83. No,
GB,
no, no,
you think
sorry.
point,
DTR 815 is there.
815. So you think that has better accuracy? So more it has,
That,
more better it is.
acha, acha, okay, okay. Sorry.
I haven't shown you in percentages. It's a proportion that lies between 0 and 1. So this can be no considered as a percentage. Like
Okay,
0.815 is nothing but 81.5 percentage, right?
okay, okay.
So
Got
which one do you think best? All like it's not just Karthik, Raghavendra, Adnan, and Syed. Which one do you think best out of
Init.
these? Sorry,
Init.
ENet.
it.
Yeah.
Okay. ENet, who guessed this? Like Raghavendra. Okay, what about Adnan and Syed and Karthik?
Yeah, yeah. No,
Which one do you think best?
ENet.
ENet. Okay. What about Syed and Adnan? Okay, I think someone pinged it.
Yes, we are.
SVR. Okay, 8699. Okay, good. And who else? Like any other? All right, so SVR is best, right? Because it's
Yeah, yeah, correct.
8.8699. It's
99. Yeah.
0.8692. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it's
based
right.
on this, we pick the right algorithm. So it's not, you need to be expert in algorithms. That is how
Okay.
this course is different from other courses. Like theoretical, they explain you how to understand, like they explain you the statistics and the machine learning algorithms. You need to pick the right algorithm. That is not going to work in real time. So in real time, none of us, pick right algorithm based on the data that we understand. It is a bunch of algorithms that we throw it on data and we build some grid that loops and finds out which one is best. So based on this, we get the right algorithm or right model, right? So as I told you, like we have a bunch of metrics, right? So you can see the R2 score, MAE, MSC, RMSC. So most of the stuff been built properly and given. We're going to give it to you. Yeah. Any questions? When it comes to the course, the day we are going to start, like it's going to start on next Wednesday or Thursday, we are going to communicate to you. And let me show you another thing, like for communication, we are going to use Slack. So we're going to create a group wherein we're going to add, and if you have any questions anytime, you can ask. and even others can ask questions. I mean, others can answer questions or discuss something. And for data, for content and all, we're going to use Trello. So topics and content, you're going to get it in Trello. So it's going to be like this, wherein I'm going to add files and any attachments that are required, I'm going to add it here. And the topic list, you're going to get it here too. Let me show you an example. And previous batch of, it's going to be like this. Topics, we're going to have a list of topics. Once I complete, I am going to check it, right? So any attachments, you're going to get it like this, attachments, right? So attachments, you can download it from here. When you click on this, you can download it. Okay. So it's been downloaded, right? So you can see a arithmetic operator has been downloaded. It's going to be like this. So files, topics, and the topics that we complete or topics that are that you haven't completed, you can trace it using Trello. And when it comes to the communication, you can use Slack. Yeah, I think my part has been done. Like, if you have any questions, let me know.
You told algorithms will be written in C language, right?
So it's going to be in Python, sir. Like, it's completely in Python. So no other language I'm going to take it in. And C, C++, as I told you before, it's going to be useful in writing algorithms from scratch. This course is specifically drafted how to take up the existing algorithms, implement it on real-time data, and solve real-time problems.
So is it necessary to learn R language or not any other languages like this?
In fact, most of the products are in Python. If you learn R, it's good, but 90% products are in Python itself. So I don't see any necessary to learn R, but it's up to you. But this course is specifically in Python, only in Python, in fact. Once you understand the concepts, and once if you're good in one particular language, it's not much difficult learning another language like R. After all, it's going to be syntax and libraries that are specific to R, right? So be good at one particular language. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sir. Duration of this Python course, you are going to teach in deep or it's just it's simple way that we can work in our practical way.
That is
Python
what
language.
this course is like. I told you before. Like, this course is like giving KT, presuming that you don't have any knowledge in ML. Like in real time, if you join some organization, get into a project, once you hit the floor, they provide you KT for a month, right? So it's going to be similar to that KT. But we're going to start from
Sorry,
basics.
I'm not familiar with the KT because my background is from mechanical and I just want to jump in.
All right. KT is nothing but noise transition. Once you get a job once you get in a job in IT, so what they do is 1 month they're going to give you like noise transition, since they're going to explain you how the project is, things that you have to learn, right? The tools that are required in specific to that particular project, right? So KT is nothing but knowledge transition. They're going to explain you the project. But in KT, they're not going to explain the basics, right? So they're not going to explain the libraries that they use and how to write, how to build a proper grid to implement real-time project. They're not going to explain you that. So yeah, this is a kind of course. That's a kind of KT, presuming that you don't have any prior knowledge.
Okay,
This is more
okay.
practical oriented, so you can handle real-time projects. That's what I want to say. This is not theoretical course.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, practical means what kind of practical, sir? Did we getting any live project like this?
Yeah, this template is, the purpose of this template is all about that, right? So the purpose of this is that you can take up this code and you can handle any kind of data, especially if this is a regression template, so you can handle regression problems. And the classification, we have another one. Of course, we are not going to give you templates for all, but this is going to cover this is going to be a standard for almost all the projects. This is going to be a very real-time course. So this is not theoretical course, as I told you. So don't worry if you have you are not going to face any difficulty if at all you have been placed in a project. That is what I can say. Any questions on this apart from Syed? I think it's Syed, right, who raised this question? Karthik, Raghavendra, Adnan, any questions on this? The point that he raised?
No, nothing.
Those who have some experience in IT, they can understand what I'm saying. But those who are completely new to IT, what about you, Adnan? So, are you completely new to IT? Adnan? So, Syed is from mechanical background, right? Okay, Syed, is that clear? You have any questions?
I'm totally from a mechanical background.
Okay, Syed, so is that clear? Like, did I answer your question? Don't worry about projects. So projects you're going to handle it. So what you need to do is you need to practice more compared to others. You can definitely do at least 10 projects by the end of this course. In fact, it's going to be more, but you will definitely complete it as 10 projects.
Okay, and what about that interview preparation or maybe CV template something? So will you give it?
We give you a bunch of resumes, but it's not possible to provide a kind of template for resume. So
No, because since we are new to this technology, so if we put, I mean, 2 years or maybe experience, so we cannot go with, because since I am experienced 4 years of experience, so I cannot go like yeah, that is why.
The technology that you worked on?
Currently, I'm working in Linux and backup.
Okay.
It's like more into admin kind of stuff.
Okay, all right. So we are going to give you a bunch of resumes and referrals. I think Venkat sir will help you in that.
Okay.
Yeah. So did you speak to Venkat sir? And once you complete the course, if at all he has any referrals to ML, he's going to help you. Resumes,
Okay.
I will give you a bunch of resumes, so you can have a look at it. Those resumes may not be too much matured enough, but you can take it as a reference and build on your work.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, actually, as you said, like we used to get a data set, right? Is it like project based? Maybe like duration will be given to you for a particular task. Is it something like that?
So I will share data sets in Trello.
No. I'm asking like you are a real time job. I'm asking like will
right.
the company
Will that? Go ahead.
I mean, company will give some set of data so that you need to work on it. So there will be any SLR timelines for that?
Yeah, depends on the project. So sometimes it may be a week. They may give a week, sometimes a month, or sometimes it may extend more. So it depends on, it's a project to project basis, like it's going to change. It's not a specific period, like only week or 10 days for all the projects. It's going to vary from project to project.
Is it like a teamwork or an individual task?
So mostly it's going to be an individual work.
Okay.
And sometimes it's going to be a team. and depends on how good that guy is.
It's like a, I mean, depends on projects, right?
Depends on project.
Okay.
If it is huge, like it depends on data, how much data we got. It's
Okay.
not the logic. So it's, if it has too much data, then we need to split, right? That's the
Okay.
only.
Hello.
Yes. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, actually we have a data in like a SQL Server database. So presently, like they are expecting to analyze those data and apply these kind of libraries. So
Okay. Go ahead.
like in this that part is covered.
Connectivity to, as I told you before, like connectivity to SQL Server, if possible, I will show you. But it's not much difficult. After all, just connecting it, right? So you can get connection string anywhere. But I will try to show you how to get connected to SQL Server. Once we get connected to SQL Server and fetch the data, it's going to be the regular process, right? The
Yes,
process is
yes.
going to be same. After all, once we get the data frame, it's going to be one of the same, irrespective of the format that we connect to.
Like how the process will be there? Like we have to download that SQL data into Excel and apply these libraries.
No, you can directly connect to SQL Server.
Okay,
So here,
directly we can.
here we
Yeah.
have shown you the CSV, but then it's not always going to be CSV, right? We
Yes,
can
yes.
connect to any data set. It's not to be CSV, or not to be Excel, it not to be no, what do you say? Any other
DB.
format, like the regular form, tab with fixed with file or whatever. So it can be SQL Server, it can be Oracle, it can be MongoDB, it can be anything.
Yes. So
It's
all
just
these
connection
libraries.
string. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, all these libraries are open source or any licensed versions?
Python is a open source language. So libraries are also open source.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be open source.
Fine.
Yeah, and another thing is like even if it is open source, there is a possibility that you can look into the code and modify it. In 99.99% cases, you don't modify the code. You make use of what it is and
True.
make use of what no, it's already been written. But thing is, like you not buy any any stuff. It's not proprietary to a particular organization. You can take the code, you can import the library, you can install library and make use of it. That's it. Only thing is the client has to provide a machine to you with good
Yeah.
amount of resources. That's it. Not to buy any software. Python you can install it free, and libraries are free. So what else you need? Right?
And one more thing for our development practice, is there any system requirement like PC requirements?
If you have 16 GB RAM and if you have good processor like i7, it's going to be good. But it's not mandatory. And I'm going to show you SageMaker also, wherein you can get connected to cloud and work on it. But if it is, the ideal requirements are 16 GB RAM and i7 processor. But it's not mandatory. Yeah. After all, it takes more time. That's it.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, we can
Thank you.
use Google Collab, right? I mean, think
Yeah.
to
Go for it.
practice as
Yeah. It's only for practice, not for
practice.
real-time projects. Yeah.
Yes.
Because they provide free GPUs. The problem is that they have a set of GPUs provide to all. So let's take that it's been it's sufficient enough for 5 members and 10 members been connected. So what happens? It may get disconnected and
Performance.
a lot of issues collab. So it may disconnect at any time, and if you get disconnected, you need to start from scratch again. Even though theoretically it is good, on paper it's good, but in collab, it really sucks, let me tell you. It's better to use SageMaker, but there is another problem with SageMaker, I mean AWS. The problem with AWS is that you need to show a good amount of history, like good amount of transactions, like the billing. You can't directly take a higher instance, a large instance. You need to have good amount of history to ask for a large instance. It's not like getting connected to cloud and you can choose any instance you like. You need to send a request to them, and if at all they accept it, you get the instance. Till then, you can only use the basic instances. I mean, what I mean instances with a limited amount of resources, 8 GB or 16 GB, something like that. For large instances with the GPUs and all, you have to have credible history of usage.
Is it like a paid, right?
It's paid, still they don't accept it. You need to have need to show your usage history. You need to raise a request. In fact, I personally raised a request and it has been rejected. I will show you that email. Not now. We will see that later. It's been rejected to me because I don't have much usage. I mean, I'm speaking about my personal account, not the production. Yeah, but the examples, the projects that we take, in most of the cases, our system is good enough. Even the SageMaker with limited resources is good enough. In certain cases, it demands resources. In one or two projects, demands resources. So we limit ourselves to a few epochs, 5 or 6 epochs. There is a project specifically on that text generation that required huge amount of resources. Even with limited resources, with just 5 epochs, I mean iterations, you require 20 hours of processing time. In fact, 5 is not good enough. It requires more. It demands more. So in real time, you get good amount of resources. You can make use of it. But in our case, we have to limit to certain extent. Did I answer your question? So my point is, when and then it demands huge amount of resources, we limit ourselves to few epochs. So at least to understand the process flow. But in real time, you get good resource, right? So you can take the same code and increase the number of epochs with simple configuration change and implement it. That is what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Any questions? Yeah, you can ask. Even if it's a silly question, you can ask.
Yeah, sir. Before you told that not only theoretical, we are going to learn some practical also. So
Yeah.
regarding in mechanical side, what kind of a practical you are going to teach, sir? This machine learning, right?
Yeah, you can. Okay, so let's take this template itself. There are a lot of things that you don't know, right? So by the end of this course, you will understand every bit of this. So let's take an example. This is build pipeline. So what is target? Why we need to provide target like this? Why can't we have it in another format? What is scikit-learn? So why we need to use try and test split method? Why we need to split? No, these sort of things going to be covered in the course. And why we need pipeline, and why we need to use hyperparameters, and what is the difference between parameter and hyperparameter, when do we use it, and what are the important hyperparameters? Do we need to understand all the hyperparameters or not? Those are sort of questions will be answered in the course. Yeah, did I answer your question? So maybe to you, it maybe too technical right now, but don't worry. So practice more compared to others, like Karthik and Raghavendra has some experience, right? 90. So compared to them, you need to do more practice. That's it. But this machine learning is not something that only experts can learn, or someone who has 10 plus years of experience. There is no such thing. Like in real time, the way we implement it can be learned by even a beginner, a fresher. Don't worry too much about it. More you think now without implementing it, so more is going to create a problem to you. So it's going to be more headache. Don't worry too much for now. You need to practice more compared to others. That's all I can say. Yes, Raghavendra.
Yeah, actually, I heard that there is a much requirement of mathematics, statistics in this machine learning part.
Right.
So,
Uh,
like, is it?
yeah, we're
Yeah.
going to cover statistics, mathematics basics, but it's more about implementation and understand the concepts in depth. Let's take
Okay.
ensemble algorithms itself. Basically, no one explain you how it internally calculates. Even principal component analysis, no one explain you how it internally calculates. What is the eigenvalue? How to calculate internally? I mean, how to calculate it manually, and how to calculate eigenvectors. Those things I'm going to explain you in detail. Like instead of explaining theory and not digging deeper into concepts, it is better to cover the basics, take the concept, understand the implementation, and dig deeper, right? Rather than understand theory, not getting into the concepts in depth.
Correct.
That is the approach. Yeah, that is the approach we follow.
Okay.
Yeah. To answer your question, or any further questions on that?
No. Like you are saying, the basics should be the very strong, and
Yeah.
you have to.
Yeah, the point is you need to understand the implementation before getting into the concepts. That is my perspective. And understand the basics is good, but not, we shouldn't go in depth. You need to understand, you need to have a brief idea about the stuff, and then you need to understand how to implement it, and then you need to get into the internals. If you look at this curriculum, let me show you table of contents. Here you can see basic machine learning basics, basic projects. Before that, libraries, Python, right? And then project template. And then I told you we're going to give you 4 to 5 data sets. You need to complete within a span of 4 to 5 days. And then we will get into the internals of machine learning. It's not, the other way. It's not like we going to start with internals and then projects. Projects are going to come at the end. It is the projects that comes first, but even before the advanced projects, we're going to start with basic projects and then advanced projects and then internals. So it's been drafted in a way that makes you understand things and makes you to do things by at the end of this course.
Okay.
Yeah. Any question on that? That's an interesting question, but and don't worry too much about theoretical or the concepts. It's going to be covered in detail. The only thing is, it's a bit intensive course, so we're not going to take some 2 to 3 hours a day. So another 2 to 3 hours you need to spend, and we have work to, right? So we need to manage that part too. So it's going to be tedious for 2 to 3 months. So you need to prepare yourself for that. Especially weekends, try to repeat things. Try to practice more. Don't just take the code, try to implement it, and once you understand, throw it out. No, don't do that. Try to repeat things. That is the essential. Any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. Like,
Yeah. Go ahead.
There are two roles, right? Data science and machine learning. So we can apply for both, or is it like we can only apply for a machine learning once this course gets?
The machine learning is not different from data science. In fact, machine learning is part of data science.
Yes. But as you
It's
said,
like
like data science. Please go.
the role perspective, it is a bit different from machine learning engineer. From role
Okay, so we
perspective,
can apply.
go ahead.
No, so that my question is like we can apply for both or anyone. That's what my question.
You can apply for both.
Okay.
My point is, a data scientist is not someone who takes, who solves regular production problems. He's not someone who look into the client issues on day-to-day basis. He's someone who gets into it only when it is critical.
Okay.
He's like someone who has some 6 to 7 years of experience, how he's going to behave in any technology. So he's not going to look into day-to-day activities, right? He will get in
Yes.
only when it is critical. Most of the time, he works on things that are repetitive, or that are he works on things that are require more proactiveness. No,
Is it like a development guy, correct?
exactly.
Okay.
Data scientist is someone who who understand the limitations of the existing algorithms and try to build another set of algorithms that solves the problem.
Okay.
But machine learning is right now it's mature enough that we have there are numerous algorithms that you need not require to write algorithms from scratch. There are certain organizations like Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Apple. These organizations have humongous of data that regular algorithms are not going to fit. So they have to have their own set of algorithms, isn't it? So
Yes.
only when you get into those kind of organizations, you have to start worrying about data science.
Okay.
Even IBM, even these organizations don't write algorithms from scratch.
Okay.
It's a very rare case that they write algorithm. Google is, that they have a specialized team always works on algorithms.
Yes.
They have that necessary, like, yeah.
I think they did some automation, right? Just no need to write everything. You can import some template or
Right.
something like
Template in what way? Like you're speaking of machine learning?
that. Some algorithms I'm talking about.
Algorithms. So they automated writing algorithms.
Yes.
That's what.
Yes, correct.
Automating writing algorithms is not
That we don't
always
need to write from
possible.
scratch, and also
Okay.
they just need to
Yeah.
import.
Yeah. The repetitive stuff. Yeah. Repetitive stuff. They always automate it.
And what about
But
yes, please go.
yeah, but it's not right now. We are in a position that machine learning has not taken over everything. AI has not taken over everything. So it's still manual intervention and requirement is necessary. Even Google, it's not possible to automate everything. Definitely a manual intervention is necessary. They have a team specifically working on algorithms, especially search algorithms. They were experts in it.
Okay.
And the reason is quite obvious. Yeah, go ahead. You are asking something.
Yeah, and what about job opportunities?
Yeah,
for this?
and the more demand right now, the technology that is in demand is JavaScript full stack, and in parallel to that, we have requirement in machine learning. Let me show you that. Let's get into Indeed and search for machine learning. Let's see what is the result we get.
Because I have gone through some Glassdoor and all, because wherever I see it's like a data science. That's where I confused actually.
Yeah, definitely. Data science, you can apply it as a machine learning engineer. Data science, what they mention is a machine learning engineer itself.
Yes, correct.
So don't think machine learning is different from data scientist, but Just no, read the requirement they have. If at all they have a requirement that you need to write algorithms from scratch, that may not be apt to it.
Okay.
India, we have around 5,192 jobs right now. And let's compare, okay, data science, okay. Somewhere around 15,000 jobs, right? So
Yes.
there's nothing but machine learning engineer, ML or data science engineer. So these are all, so data science, what they mean is machine learning engineer.
Okay. But it's like a more into pro kind of a guy.
Yeah, my perspective, the reason why I differentiate data science from machine learning is, my perspective is, as I saw, like in real time, like data scientists or someone who write algorithm from scratch. So that is how I differ from, differentiate data science from machine learning.
Okay.
This is based on my own personal experience. So it doesn't mean they use the same terminology, right? So machine learning here, it means, so data science here, it means machine learning. One thing is you need to read this one,
Requirement.
the requirement. Yeah.
And there is one more thing called data visualization, right? There are certain tools also for that. In Microsoft MSBI or Tableau, Click.
Yeah,
So
Tableau.
do we? Yeah. Click also there.
Yeah,
So
right.
do we
There
need
are various
to?
tools. Yeah.
So do we need to know about it, or I mean, Python is more enough
If
to?
you know it, it will be good. But if at all someone asks you to work on Tableau, it definitely means that you are not applying for machine learning instead. They're looking for data analyst.
Okay.
So they give you some data. So it's nothing to do with machine learning or algorithms that you have to apply. They give some data, you need to analyze and show some reports. That's it.
Okay, it's like a more into data analytics.
Exactly, data analytics. It's not machine learning.
Okay.
Machine learning is not more about visualization. In fact, any experienced guy with 1 or 2 years experience, they don't look into the visual. I mean, they're not fond of visualization. Even in this template, you don't see much of visualization stuff, right? In fact,
Yes.
all this, these charts you see here can be automated. If you look at this one box plot, you call it as box plot, that helps in understanding outliers. Here you can see a dot, right? So this is an outlier, but this is not going to be helpful in handling outliers. We have a set of code here. So we have a code. This generates column to column by column basis outliers. It's going to give you the value, and this code, just under this code, this will get rid of all the outliers. So again, at the end, you need to write some code. So anyone who has some sort of experience is definitely not going to be fond of visualization, right? Visualization is just give you a glance of it. That's it. Not going to help in getting implementing it. Even feature selection, we have something called heat map. Let me show you that. Do we have heat map here? Let me show you another project. We have heat map. Heat map is going to be very attractive, but not going to be helpful in implementing it. And then again, you have to make use of feature selection template.
Okay.
See, if at all someone asks you expertise in Tableau, definitely means data analysis, not machine learning. Here you can see it, right? This is heat map. This heat map helps you in understanding the correlation, but if it has some 20 or 30 columns, let's take 3 or 4 columns itself, how is going to be helpful in understanding what is the right column and what is not. At the end, we need to write some Python code that helps in sorting out and get you what is required.
Okay.
Even though I have given you that, you are nowhere going to make use of it in real time. My point is, don't focus much on data iteration. If at all someone demands you and asks you to have expertise in it, definitely they're not going to ask you for the role of machine learning. That is for visualization. Yeah. This course is specifically for machine learning. As you know that we can't do everything. So at the end, we have to focus on certain things. Only then we can get expertise, right? So this course is not theoretical, but practical. It helps you, complete at least 10 projects. And we're going to dive deeper too. We're going to, in most of the cases, we manually calculate it to understand how it internally works.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Any questions you can, so.
What about fee structure, sir?
Yeah, the fee is going to be 35K. It used to be 40, but we reduced it for our reason, for our own reasons. It's going to be 35K.
And sorry, I forget the duration. How many days?
2 to 3 months is going to be 5 days a week, 2 to 3 hours a day.
Okay, it's almost 3 months.
Right, it's almost 3 months. The last batch we have completed in 2 months. We started on November 4th and completed on December 31st. And this may be more. I expect that it is going to be around 2 months, 2 weeks, but most probably 2 to 3 months.
So after this course, if we have any doubts, anything, so can we contact you or?
Yeah, you can ask it in Slack. We still have the previous batches going on, so we don't discontinue support of Slack. Still have Slack. You can ask questions. You can come. You will be in contact. Like, and we're going to create a WhatsApp group too, so you can ask questions. But I'm not going to be too much in WhatsApp. So I prefer Slack.
Okay. Is it like a, I mean, web application or something like that, or mobile application?
Yeah, you can see it here, right? So there's
Yeah.
an app that helps in communicating. You can ask questions. You can do personal chat also using direct message. If at all you want to communicate, communicate with only a specific guy in the list, you can communicate.
Okay.
We have different channels here. Mostly I prefer general. If you have any questions, you can ask in general chat.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And files and all, you need not to worry. You need not search for, ask anyone or search anywhere else. You all get it in Trello. And last time, the last batch, I have not given even one external URL. I have not given any URLs like, or articles to read on your own. So whatever it is, I try to discuss it in session itself. So I don't share you any videos, external videos, your YouTube videos or articles and ask you to read. I'm not going to do that. Whatever been there, we're going to discuss it in session itself or regular sessions. That is good enough. Yeah, I think someone logged off, maybe Syed. Yeah. If you have any questions, you can ask, but if you don't have, you can log off. I think you all come through Venkat sir, right?
This is correct.
Yeah, if you can contact Venkat sir also for any questions. Or you can, if you like to give feedback to him, you can, or any improvements or any suggestions, advice, etc. Fine. If you have any questions, stay on, or else you can log off. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead. Raghavendra and Karthik, any questions?
Nothing. I have a question like, see, I'm a admin guy right now.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to, I mean, change my profile. So
Okay.
that is why I'm more interested in to learn this, because
Okay.
since it is I just need some suggestions, like how I can be learn quickly, or that is what mainly I'm into.
There is no quick method, but as I told you, like this is going to be 2 to 3 months course, right? It's going to be tedious, 2 to 3 hours, another 2 to 3 hours practice. It's not going to be easy, and you need to repeat it. So by the end of this course, you'll definitely get good knowledge. The point is, and how consistent you are. This is if you practice for just 2 or 3 days and you don't practice for another 2 days, it's not going to work. So practice more and attend regular sessions and practice on the same day itself, like whatever been discussed on that day.
Okay.
That is my request, and you'll definitely get good knowledge. That I can assure you that.
Okay. So
And
also you will
this
share the
method,
videos also.
yeah, 2 to 3 months is going to be very tedious, and there is no quick method. Yeah, we will share you the videos. And
Oh,
the day sessions itself, it's going to be around 90 hours. And
okay.
another 90 to, let's take 150 hours, you need to spend practicing it. It's going to be around 240 hours. So 240 hours of practice and attendance sessions, understanding things. I think it's not that easy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but there's no quick method. That's how to
No,
say
quick.
this.
What I mean by quick is like, I mean, I wanted to search job as well because you know very well that this IT and all, it's always you can never predict some, I mean, job or maybe vacancies or maybe availabilities with
Uh,
respect to this particular profile I'm saying.
yeah,
So
machine
that is why.
learning, you have at least demand for at least another 10 years. So there
Yeah.
is no way that machine learning is going to be out of scope,
Mhm.
out of
That is what
requirement.
my question.
Yeah,
Quick.
it's definitely going to be required, and it's going to grow more. So it's becoming more and more advanced. So,
Okay.
and another thing is machine learning is not you shouldn't look it as a separate field, like a different field. Machine learning is going to be used in almost all the fields. It has already
Okay.
been entered in all the fields. Whether it is even someone said mechanical engineering, so they are using machine learning somewhere or the other. Almost all the device machine learning has been already been there, like in the name of intelligence, right?
Yes.
It's
Yes.
already
And
been there. There's no
okay. And one more thing.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Please. No, and one more thing. There is a concept called domain knowledge. Also, we have to know. Is it required? Any particular?
uh, this course is specifically on NLP, so NLP is one such domain.
Oh, acha, okay. So there is no
There
such requirement like, I mean, these domains like a finance domain or education, something like that,
there
logistics
are
domain. Mm.
there is something called time series, which is specifically for financial trade analysis, and there is something called computer vision. So for image processing, video processing, for that stuff, we have a computer vision. So there are different domains. This course is specifically drafted for NLP,
Mhm.
and why I told you before that 20 to 80% of jobs are on NLP.
Okay,
So that is why we drafted NLP, and future will come up with computer vision too. But again, you need to have basic knowledge, and you need to have expertise in at least one domain to get into computer vision. To take up this course,
Mhm.
and in future, in another 6 months, we are going to come up with computer vision that is only for the existing students, not for all.
Okay,
Yeah, that's how it works. And NLP is one such domain. So
okay, okay, I understand.
yeah,
Thank you.
welcome. And Raghavendra, yeah, I think you have questions. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, like presently I'm working into iOS development side. Like how best it is for me to learn this, like same Karthik asked you for job searching only.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the two things
So
I want to bring. Yeah, go ahead.
like I'm also looking for a change in the job role actually. So I thought it's a machine learning for best suitable for me because I have a like experience in database side and programming. It is added advantage for me to this learn this machine learning. So that's why I chosen this one actually.
Yeah, definitely going to be advantage. And data side, you said like what kind of role that you played comes to data. So is it a SQL
Like
development or database administration or what?
no, it's a SQL development side only.
Okay, SQL development. SQL development is going to be helpful, and development knowledge is definitely going to be helpful. But you need to project yourself that you are an iOS developer with machine learning knowledge, and you can directly say that you're working on both iOS and machine learning.
Okay.
That is how you need to project yourself. That is definitely a good scope, in future. And job requirement, you not to bother about it. So there are a lot of requirements. I showed you right just now. Indeed itself has around 16,000 jobs, and you can hear this term data science all everywhere. Right? Even a developer right now, a web developer should have some basic knowledge in machine learning. That is how things are right now. So
Yes.
requirements definitely been there, and machine learning is not an exception. You have to learn, even if it is not now. In future, in some way
Okay.
or other, you have to learn. Being in IT. You can't avoid it. Yeah. Any feedback on the demo, or any way, feedback
Yeah,
that we can improve it? Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, it's good only, but only thing we have to, as you told it, we have to more practice. That's the only
Yeah,
mantra.
it's a tedious. It's not simple. It's not as simple as someone believe. Like it's going to be tedious, especially when we dive deeper. It's going to be very tedious. And based on my previous experience interacting with students, what they believed is initially they thought like once when I started Python, NumPy, and other libraries, they thought that we are not going to cover machine learning. Once we get machine learning and project template, initially they felt very cumbersome, like very difficult to grasp things. But after completing 4 to 5 projects, they thought they are very good at machine learning. And then the real concept started, the internals of machine learning. Once we get into the concepts in depth, they realize that how big machine learning is all about. So there is a lot of ups and downs I have seen in various students based on the previous experience. Initially, they felt very difficult. They thought that we're not getting into the actual machine learning. And then once we get into the machine learning, they felt it very difficult. Once they complete 4 to 5 projects, they felt they're very good at, and they felt it is everything. What else it could be? And once we get into advanced topics, and then they realize the importance of machine learning, how it internally works. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, because I'm already started learning this Python, so I can understand these libraries and all. But I think, I mean, it's difficult only bit because since I don't have any prior experience on programming, so that is what I can see the code where you showed that templates
yeah.
and all. It's like more code and all. So we have to work more on.
Damodar,
Go ahead. Yeah.
yeah, like what you are showing here, like all these scripts, is it fixed for this part?
If at all, if it is fixed, it's completely fixed and 100% that you know to modify anything, then I need not explain the concepts, or I need not to take you in depth. Definitely 60 to 70% stuff you can make use of these templates, and other 20-30% always going to be new, and you have to do some R&D.
Oh,
And
okay.
once you understand the concepts well, you can modify it according to your need. That is what my intention is.
Yes, yeah.
And if at all it is fixed, then what is the need of ML engineers? It can be automated, right?
Yeah, true. Like these are the base core concepts, so that based on that we have to implement if it is required.
It's not just core, so it's going to be a more real-time experience. By the end of this course, you'll be in a position to you'll get confidence that you can handle real-time projects. And this is not machine learning is not. You'll realize that machine learning is not a course something that you will never understand. Usually, when we look at YouTube videos or other courses, you will realize that you will never understand machine learning. But in practical, in real time, the way we implement, if at all we take that path, learning path, it's going to be much much simple, but it's going to be tedious. Practicing is not something based on my the previous they said it's good, and they completed a lot. They learned a lot, and there are a lot of scripts they felt. And they said like even if they start it again, it will take 2 to 3 months to complete all the scripts. That is what they said. So it's going to be tedious. It's not going to be easy.
Okay.
And what they said is like they would have asked more questions to get more. And of course, they asked many questions, but they realized that they would have utilized me more, in asking more questions. So you can ask questions. Otherwise, it's going to be like any other video course that you get just for some $10. So you need to ask questions. You need to practice more. Only when you practice more, you can ask relevant questions. So you will feel more interesting. Otherwise, it's going to be in just 1 week, it's going to be dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there any of your student got placed?
Yes, one guy used to work in web development. He's parallelly working on machine learning also right now. Yeah, they're working in Dubai. And another lady, Hemasti, and she took after completing 50% of the course. Even though I suggested to start from scratch, she didn't listen. But after, she thought that she attended another course to understand things, but she felt difficult, and I asked her to attend the course again. So hope she will.
Okay.
And another guy working on data analysis, I think he's using his knowledge. The point is that we can take this knowledge and implement in your own organizations, in your projects. You can put it yourself, at least for a year, try to do that. And then once you
I'm planning that one actually.
Yeah, instead of searching elsewhere, implement it in your own organization with your own data sets and get exposure and try to put yourself as a machine learning engineer within your project or your organization. Once you get 1 year experience, then you can leave. That is my suggestion. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Your good teaching skills you have.
Thank you, and I will improve. And based on the feedback I get, and try to make sure as much interactive as possible.
Okay.
Yeah. You can
So
ask
is it
more
like
questions.
how many? Yeah. How many people will be in one batch?
We don't know unless the batch been started. So last batch was 4 to 5. The previous batch was around 6 to 7. So it depends.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So this,
So
I mean, first, right? First it will start, April 1st.
April 1st or April 2nd? April 1st or April 2nd. So we'll communicate that. I think it's WhatsApp. You're already part of that WhatsApp group, something, right? Venkata sir. So
No, I am actually. Yeah, sure. I will speak to him.
Share your contact details. We will communicate you back. But
yeah, sure.
It's going to be on Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for attending.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.